And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer. I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon and mean it. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die, and dry his eyes and say, maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay, wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then painting from tractor back put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners. Somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church. Somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. Take me down, so God made a farmer. Take me down to the little white church.
On today's episode, we visit some of Central New York's favorite annual events. Our first stop takes us down historic Route 20 to the hamlet of Bouckville. Every August, this small community swells with antique lovers and collectors during the Madison-Bouckville Antique Week.
Antique Week. And here we are, first broadcast from the ground here, so let's just take a walk through. You've got 300 of these you've sold already? Yeah.
I started doing them in 2013. I started doing them in 2013, and I made like 40 of them, and they all sold.
Yeah.
So I just kept making them. I made them so they're one-of-a-kind designs. People who buy them have got a particular piece. They don't. Nobody else has got one like it.
Right.
And they sell it. That's how they sell. You look like a little thing like this. The valve operates the bulb.
Oh, that is cool. That is nice. I think we have stumbled onto something that's quite unique here. I think they called them books. Unlike things on the iPad, you can feel them. They have pages. Look at them. There's more books over here, too. All right, Richie, what do we got here? Oh, my goodness. When we came over to look at books, this is something. What is this?
Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven.
Wow.
Illustrated by Gustave Doré, one of the great illustrators of the 19th century.
So how old would this book be?
1884.
1884, in such good shape.
This was his last book that he illustrated, and it is considered one of the great literary pieces of all time.
Wow, look at that. It's beautiful. Yeah. How's the antique week been for you?
Very good. I'm pleased. Yeah.
Where do you?
New Hampshire.
So this would be used for.
This was a farmer's book, a muck manual.
I see.
1856.
Very good. So you got a collection of everything here. Star Trek. Look at this. Look. Al might want to talk to you about that one. Beautiful.
No one's ever. I've yet to find anybody who's ever seen it.
And your name is?
Kelly Stiles,
Kelly, where are you from?
Trumansburg, New York.
Okay, and your partner here?
Ava Stiles.
Are you two related?
Yes.
Last name?
Yes.
What's been your experience, first of all, starting with you with the antique week here?
Well, we just got here today, so it's We've had some success for what we're looking for. You know, definitely not the same it was in the old days, but
So what are you out for? What's your mission today, the two of you?
we look for antique clothing in smalls.
Okay. Yeah, we saw some right over there. Look. Pretty nice. That could be yours for a low price and make an offer. All right, here we are. Jake, right? Jake?
We're doing
I wouldn't say Jake the Snake because that's what they call you. Is it really?
own a pawn shop. It's called Jake Snake, Low Down Dirty Pawn. We cheat you right.
Jake the Snake, we cheat you right?
Low Down Dirty Pawn. We cheat you right.
I like that. All right. Well, this is
I
took
have
my.
T-shirts for sale, but we don't have any.
All right. Well, this caught my eye right here. We're at the Madison-Balkville Antique Show, and I grew up during this era, but I always remember nickel, and this really surprised me.
Well, the 6 cent. Let me explain. That this is an older box, and if you look on the side of it, it says "Have a Coke in bottles." That's a 1960s advertisement on the side of the box. So this box went back to the refurbishing machine, and they went up with probably went to 25 cent. Left that on there, and it takes 25, 30 cent probably now when you see "Have a Coke in bottles."
It's beautiful. I just love it. I mean, is it still something that people? No, is it still something that people are searching for? Is the Coke stuff?
Yeah, this is the hottest thing on the market right now. It's Coke boxes.
All right, we've been invited to try Suzys Place. Here we go. We're at the Antique Week at Madison and Balkville, and we have a hairdresser who also sells antiques.
Yeah, I love the French. I worked in the fashion shows for years doing hair over in Paris. And it just upped my love of the French, you know, the
Yeah.
But when I started going to France, I've always loved antiques, but then my knowing things that were more the stylistic lines and all that of the French has just made me adore it more and more.
Well, why don't you show us around your shop here? Okay, so what are you going to do now with this chair?
What we're going to do, well, this chair I'm getting mostly done with. So what I'm going to do, this one's almost there. This is the end result, right? This is about half, you know, this is starting halfway where I've sanded some of it.
Yeah. You take a wire brush to it?
I take
sandpaper.
A triple aught steel wool, a really fine steel wool. And we just take, and I'm removing that old coating there and bringing it back to the bare wood. You see how it's already.
Well, I'd love to see them when they're done. So what would something like this go for?
I'm gonna probably take, because they do need upholstery, I have to give the folks that, you know, I have to take the upholstery down. So for basically just the woodwork and the nice chairs are probably going to go for about $250 for the set, maybe $240, because they're nice chairs.
All right, we've been invited to try Suzys house? Suzys Place. Here we go. Al and I were just walking across the street. Al's the camera guy and co-producer of the show, and I'm saying, man, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, but we didn't plan enough to bring cash, and probably wouldn't have it anyways, you know. But long story short, as we crossed the road of Route 20 to come over to look for more vendors for the show, lo and behold, a gentleman comes up and says, come on over to Suzys Place. Here's the menu. Look at this. So here we are just discussing it, saying, boy, I wish we could get a thing of water. I was actually joking, going like, water for an interview, water for an interview. So we're gonna start with a cheeseburger and French fries with greens. Sounds exciting.
Hey, I'll get you all set up there.
Okay, we're at Suzys Place at the Madison-Bouckville Antique Festival week, or whatever it is. Susie, what a nice place you have here.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, how long you been operating in Bouckville?
This is our 4th antique show, so 3.5 years we've been here.
3.5 years. Now, I asked the waitress, I said, well, it must have been a little slow going at first, but she said, no. Once you opened the doors, they followed you in because they like food.
Yep, that's pretty much how it happened.
And how many employees do you have?
There's 6 of us.
6 employees, and that means a lot, right?
Yeah.
In today's world, putting 6 people to work is a pretty good feeling.
Just keeping me here is a pretty good feeling, so.
Now the regulars are, they're kind of staying away, I heard, from the talk. They don't want to be around here during this, but they'll be back.
Yeah, they'll be back Monday, I'm sure. Some of them pop in here and there during the show, but not so much. There's nowhere to park for this, so they stay away for a little.
So what landmark are you near if anybody comes down?
The Texaco co-op, the Texaco co-op over here.
So thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. How was everything?
Very good. Hey, the burger was fresh. I didn't have to put a lot on it. I like to taste the burger, so I had a little hot sauce on it. The greens were as good as any Utica greens you can find. I'm a real fan of those greens, man. I tell you, and it's healthy for you too.
That's right.
And Al, how'd you like it?
The homemade roll on the burger. That was the home run.
All right. And when you feed two fat boys like us, we'll probably be back again like a little puppy following you around.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Al, look what we found here. This is from Clinton Tractor, our sponsor, one of our major sponsors for American Family Farmer. You and I have been over to the shop, Al, looking at in Clinton, looking at their supply. This would look real nice with a cab on it and a snow blower on the front. Let's get a picture of this, send it to the president of the corporation. All right, we're with Denise at the Madison County Bouckville / Fair Festival, but we're looking at antiques. Now, I was mentioning to Al, the cameraman, co-producer of the program, that I have a couple of these bottles in my window. I have an Amish-built building, okay, and just one in a couple windows. You said there's a way to tell if they're old or not.
Like this one here really isn't old because you have a line that goes all the way up the bottle.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me see that one.
Now this one, see where the line stops here?
Yeah.
And you see all the bubbling in the glass?
Yeah.
That's old.
All right, let me see that one. A bit closed up of that one.
Yeah.
Where are the bubbles?
See the bubbles in the glass? And your line that comes up stops right there.
All right, so that's how I know we're getting an old one. Now, what is this? Do you know what this is? Medicine, or doesn't it say?
Sawyer's extract.
Had to be great.
So, probably some good stuff.
Now, we got some history here because Al Williams is from your neck of the woods. You're from Burlington Flats?
Yes. Burlington Flats.
Actually worked at his mom's store, right?
Yeah, it was Dar's Country Store in West Burlington.
Yeah.
Now it's a dance studio.
I was talking to a fellow here last week. In 1986, they sold their cows and milk price was $14.85. It's 2016, we're years later, and we're still getting $14 for milk and everything else. Back then, you could buy gas for 50 cents a gallon of gas. We're paying, look at the price of gas.
We're at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds at the Ag Building, and we got a young man here who looks like a future farmer, and it's Lawson, right?
Yep.
Lawson, why don't you read what that says on there? What place did you win, and for what animal?
I got second place, and with a Holstein, and I just got second place.
All right. Now that Holstein, is that the one you got for its second place?
Yep.
Hold it right up here. 2016, he got second place, Herkimer County Fairgrounds. I got a feeling that's going to go in a safe place, right?
Yep.
And do you like coming to the Herkimer County Fair?
Very much.
And do you look forward to being a farmer, like taking after your family? They've been farmers, and do you want to be a farmer too?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is one of the most challenging things you think about farming? What's one of the hardest things on farming, do you think? Or is it all just you got to just work and just take one job at a time or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to do what?
Put in hay, feed cows.
Would you rather be on the wagon unloading or in the hay mow?
Hay mow.
It's hotter up there though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't mind the heat?
No.
Well, you got anything to say to anybody who wants to be a farmer, maybe some young man or woman that's your age, and any tips you want to give them on what you think is good to be, why it's good to be a farmer?
Well, milk is good, so.
Yeah, especially cold out of the bulk tank, huh?
Yep.
That's the best way to have it, yeah. How long have you been friends?
Since we were babies.
Since you were little babies, you played together? And so what are you guys, like 12 years old or something?
No, we're only 7, 8, and 10.
7 and 10, and you guys work hard.
7, 8, and 10.
Okay, 7, 8, and 10. Let's look at that ribbon now. You're the rightful owner of this ribbon, and you share this with your one of your cattle?
Yes.
And do you name your cattle?
Cutie, Fabulous, Wisteria.
Wow, that's a long one. And this is Herkimer County 4-H. Very nice. And which is the one that you want it for? Which one? Can you point out over here and show us this one right here? Yeah. All those are yours, huh? Great. So these are your young men here and your posse?
This is part of my posse, yes.
Yeah.
I have another part of the posse at home.
Okay, and your name is?
Chris.
And are you cool too?
No, I'm so not cool.
So not cool. No, okay.
Definitely not.
All right. It's good. These boys have been very entertaining. So the fair you started, when did you start setting up and everything?
I think Monday we started. Sunday. Sunday we came down and started setting up.
Sunday. And now does the boys must get pretty excited every year it's coming?
Yes, they look forward to it every single year. That's all I hear about, yeah. Yep.
And what does it take to raise an animal where you can get a ribbon for it, for its looks and everything? And I mean, there must be a lot of hard work for the boys.
It is. It's just a lot of feeding them and taking care of them and cleaning them and leading them and washing them. And
Probably crying over them sometimes.
Yeah, we do cry over them too, yeah.
And getting mad at us.
They get mad at you, the cows sometimes? Yeah.
No, that's Mom.
Oh, Mom gets mad at you? Well, she's just trying to make sure you live a long life, that's all. And are you raising beef or milk and a bunch of different, or what do you have on your farm?
Mainly it's dairy. It's Holstein and the American Linebacks. And then this year we did start raising some Angus that they can show and raise and breed. Yeah. So, yeah.
So were you raised on a farm, or was it just something you did later in life?
No, I've been on a farm my whole entire life. Born on one and grew up on one. And
what's the name of the farm?
Heaven Sent Holsteins.
Heaven Sent Holstein? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
And where are you located?
Fairfield, New York.
Fairfield, is that up where the wind turbines are, up that way?
The windmills, yes.
Windmills, yeah, okay. And you've been doing it all your life, but what do you maybe, as a farmer, what do you kind of have to rediscover or remind yourself, or is there anything that sometimes you maybe are a slow learner at, or Or do you just got it all down good?
Oh yeah, I got it right.
You got it all down good?
I got it all down
All
good.
right.
No,
Okay.
you learn something every day. You're never done learning in this business.
And you kind of work around the weather?
You work around the weather. You work around the horrible milk prices, the good milk prices, the breakdowns, the kids, the chaos. Yeah, you just work around it all.
And do you have a staff of people on the farm, or is it just totally the family?
It's the family. I do have a part-time hired man
That helps you with milking and so on?
stuff like that.
And you raise your own crops or bring them in?
Raise my own crops. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to learn about this. You got a dairy? Is it dairy farm, or do you have raise a lot of different animals?
Nope, we milk 110 dairy cows and raise all our young stock by ourselves and do all that as a family farm. And we don't do any of the beef or any of that. It's just it's a traditional family farm that we have of dairy cows and show cows. Yep.
And has a family been in the family, or is it just the first farm?
This is the first generation. Well, my parents are the first generation. They bought the farm. They were 21 years old, and they've been doing it for 25 years now. And they've been doing it by themselves. They started it from scratch. My mom grew up on a farm. My dad always had a dream of breeding good cows and having his own farm, and that's what we got today. So.
Yeah. So you milk twice a day, 3?
We milk twice a day, every day of the year.
What time do you have to get up?
We usually get up, we start milking at 5:30 in the morning and 4.
Wait, there's a 5:30 in the morning too?
Yes.
I thought there was just one in the evening.
No. Okay. No, we milk at 5:30.
Just trying to mess with you, Chad.
Yeah. No, we milk at 5:30 in the morning and about 4:45 at night, and we're usually out of the barn about 9 o'clock at night and about 11 o'clock in the morning.
Now, I know a little experience that I've had on the farm is a couple of things you don't want to wake up to, and one would be a broken water bucket in the barn, especially if you have gutter system, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't want to wake up oversleeping and hear these cows screaming at you like they want to get milked.
Yeah, no, that's not and that's the worst thing is oversleeping, and it's not, your body adjusts to getting up every day at the same time to do the same thing every day, and it's, I honestly can't sleep in so long because my body's so used to waking up and knowing that I got to go take care of other animals or other things that are more important than my sleep. So, but you're right. Waking up to a water bucket, an overflowed water bucket, is one of the worst things to wake up to.
It's crazy, yeah. What advice could you give someone that's sometimes before somebody takes on a challenge, wisdom would tell somebody you better think twice about it. So, what advice would you say to people to be sober-minded about being farmers? And what would you say for those that really think they can't do it? So you're going to give answers for 2 questions.
Yeah. Well, for those who think that they can't do it, you got to put your mind to it. If you think you can't do it, well, then you got to put your mind to doing it and do it. You can do anything you want. It's just how hard you work for it and how much you put into what you get. That's how everything is nowadays. What you put in is what you get. Another thing, if we want to start farming and you want to get it, take a lot of the old timers' advice. Go around and talk to people who have farmed, who have failed, and who have succeeded. Because a failure will tell you what he'd do different, and the guy that succeeded will tell you what he did to pass it on. Because this dairy industry is not selfish. And they will help each other out no matter what. And times are tough right now, but you know what? There's a lot of people that are sharing wisdom and helping each other, with each other's what to do and how to do it to make ends meet and get things done.
We've noticed that with a little time we've been producing this show for American Family Farmer that you guys are connected. It's like, well, this guy's crop, he might need help. Let's check with him. We were with a farmer just recently who said, let me test this. Let me show you how this case works. It was one of his corn planters or something, or no, a disc or something. And he says, let me check with it. He called his neighbor and he goes, oh, yeah, go ahead, drop your equipment over there if you want to show it off. So you know what's going on, right?
Yeah, you have a pretty good idea of being in a neighborhood every time. And like where we live, our farmers are neighbors, and we all know what goes on and who plants their corn and what they're doing or how many cuttings of hay they've done, and they know how many we've done, and if they're ahead or if we're ahead or they're
behind. You actually cruise out. I could picture a farmer taking a cruise just for the sake of looking at the corn.
Yeah, actually we do. On a rainy day, it's not uncommon to go about an hour before chores to get in the truck and go right around, look at other people's crops and corn, and just to see how theirs is doing compared to yours or what they did different to what helped to make yours be better for the next year. So.
Well, one thing I want to offer today is a chance. We let the people we interview give a chance to harp moan, or complain. And I've learned already that the milking prices are still, well, how would you say in one word, suck?
Suck is to say the
Nice word.
Nicely, yeah. It's atrocious, honestly. I mean, it's kind of criminal what we go through. The same, I was talking to a fellow here last week. In 1986, they sold their cows and milk price was $14.85. It's 2016, or years later, and we're still getting $14 for milk and everything else. Back then, you could buy gas for 50 cents a gallon of gas. We're paying, look at the price of gas. But then you go to a store and it's $3 for a gallon. We're selling 100 pounds of milk for $14 for milk, and you're going there and you're buying 8 pounds of milk for $3. So how does that math figure out? It doesn't.
Well, you're responsible to go by. I mean, it's not like farmers fix the price. No. You're basically told what the price is going to be, right?
The government tells us what we get and how we get it and when we get it. If there's milk companies, milk companies are shutting down because of the milk and the hard times, and they're dropping farmers left and right because the government's controlling this whole thing, and they're taking money from us farmers, and there's nothing that we can do about it.
Yeah. What district are you in as far as political? Do you ever chat with Claudia Tenney?
No, I don't ever get into that stuff. I hardly ever leave the
politics.
barn.
No, I
hardly ever leave the barn.
Yeah. You got to go to church or go to a wedding or a funeral once in a while, don't you?
Once in a while, yeah.
Once in a blue moon. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think I'm reading your mind in a way, because I have a little property, no animals, but it's secluded. You probably have no reason to leave, right? Why? And you go to Walmart, you go, what the heck am I doing here?
Yeah, that's just it. Why would you leave when you're in a little piece of heaven? It's just home is home, and that's where it'll always be. And it's a shame that it might go down the road because of the way milk prices are, and you can't pay your bills. There's a lot of farmers that are coming up $1,000 short a month on bills. I mean, how do you take an extreme price cut like they're doing to us nowadays? I mean, it's pretty sad.